G'day, guys. Welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, heading into round 3. In my opinion, I should say, one of the most important rounds of the season, trades-wise and whatnot. Timbuktu, good to have you in, my friend.
Boost.
Yeah, it's
boost.
a big boost time.
It's a boosting round. Even if you don't want to, just do it.
Yeah. Now, I would argue Boost, probably one of the most underrated chocolates that has hit the Australian landscape in quite some time. Never got the respect it deserved. I always thought it was very good gear. Thoughts, Kathmandu?
Did we have a debate last year about when the Boost came out?
Came in, yeah. I reckon it was about 05 is my prediction. I reckon I was just going into year 7. I think the Tigers were about to go on one of the great runs of all time, and I was
I think
licking the lips with a Boost bar.
Rue was going on a servo run.
Correct, yeah. I reckon it was 05.
I thought it was like 06 areas.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick bones over 05 and 06 with you. I'm not starting my night like that. But great to have you in. Pleasure as always.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Now, Biz and Breakevens in 2025 brought to you by Lontel, our favourite internet provider. Lightning quick, absolutely moving in the studio over here. Things are uploading before we've even pressed upload. It's unbelievable. Got a mind of its own, Timmy.
They're uploading before we've recorded it,
Yeah.
mate.
It's insanity. They are moving. And we have got a link in the description, guys. I know a lot of you already joined up last week. A link in the description that go in there, click on that. That'll put you under our Beers and Breakevens banner. Type in your address. It'll have a look. If it's available at your place, give you the hot tip. It probably will be. Unless you're living in like Cooma or something. You should be fine, right? Little drive-by.
Jeez, a little drive-by.
I'm outnumbered in the studio today too. Spy's sitting in the grandstand.
Yeah, so watch yourself, mate. The Spy can get ugly with the Spy when you piss him off. And just quietly, I was chatting to Andrew the other night after the now famous win over the Broncos. One of the greatest, Andrew being one of the head honchos in the Lontel department, one of the great Canberra Raiders fans.
His wife, one of the great Broncos fans too. So it was a big evening over at their place.
Makes like Laurie Daly or Ricky Stewart look like a fair weather fan.
Ooh,
yeah, loves them.
huge.
So I'll tell you what, we're in good company.
We are in very good company. That link in the description, guys, click on that. Check out your address and whatnot. And if you sign up through that link, you'll actually get the first month free. So sensational areas there, Timber. Now, speaking of good areas, some of you in the comments last week, a couple of heroes getting real big for your boots. Oh, it's called Beers and Breakevens. You never have beers. Yeah? Is that a challenge, is it?
Look at us toughies
Look
having
at
a
us.
tin.
How good.
Close to the mic.
Tim's almost drowned himself.
Jeez.
Shit.
Did you catch that, Cat? Because it was a bit embarrassing for a while.
I may have actually caught that.
Did you shake that up, Rue, before you gave it to me?
Yeah, it was a bit of Bart Simpson.
In our defence, when we didn't have a beer on Beers and Breakevens last year, we were recording at 7:30 a.m. of Wednesday morning.
I will say this. I think we opened up episode 1 trying to do it from memory. I think we might have had a little brewski
morning.
at 7:30 a.m. on a
And then we realised
Wednesday
that alcoholism is not a good thing.
Yes, so we made moves away from that. But now we're recording on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on Wednesday and huge news breaks at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, don't shit down my throat. Use some common sense. But this is the better way to go about it.
It's so good as well.
It is
Yeah,
good
Timmy,
gear.
I
Jeez.
actually I had to show them you taking a nice sip.
It
just
makes
there.
me so happy it does.
Yeah, it goes down well. So for all those that called us cowards in the comments, you're not wrong, but we are drinking a beer now.
But
so
we are having a
shut
beer.
up. Okay, let's have a look at our scores and everything from the weekend. And there has been a dramatic shift, a seismic shift on the leaderboard this week. I have gone into the head of the Beers and Breakevens crew here. My season rank, 7,318. As we've always said, if you're outside 7,320, honestly, give it away. Delete the app. Call it a day. You're an embarrassment to your family, and I don't see you ever recovering. And if you think you're going to end a Grizzly dynasty with that sort of shit, you best think again. Where are you ranked?
Yeah, I'll keep the bloody Grizzlies dynasty going by telling you to trade in Tino for Malawi, which you did. You're welcome, you ingrate. What? How many points are you on?
Heaps. So many.
How many?
Like
seats?
heaps.
How many?
2,622.
That's insane.
You know it's funny. I know it's coming here with Cat as well. I'm 8,813, which I'm chuffed with, by the way, for round 2. You're beating me by 13 points.
I would be chuffed if I was you. What is it?
13 points.
Oh, that's
Or
good.
12 points. 12 points.
Mandu, how are we doing? Where are we? Talk to me.
This is where things get interesting. So I scored 1,351 this week, which pushed me up 14,000 positions.
Yeah.
Ranked 7,701. And you know what they say about the top 7,701. Yeah, that's where you want to be.
How long did your rehearsals go for this afternoon, you idiots?
My total score, though, 2,619.
So, yeah, I'm in front of her by 3,
Yeah.
which is
She's
funny
90.
because Casey McLean scored a 4 for you 2 weeks ago.
It's Casey's fault.
Love to bring that up again.
And Kat's got me by 9. I scored 1340 on the weekend.
Can I just say, for the first time in Beers and Breakevens history, with the 3 of us, we're all inside the top 10K at the same
Pretty
time.
great.
Yeah,
If I had an
wow, what a
applause
moment.
button, I'd use it right now,
Yeah,
but I
pretty
don't.
good. Is this your first time in the top 10K since we started the show?
Oh.
Have to be close to it. You'd have to wear a name tag in there. You're not a regular, I would say. They're not saying hi to you as the bar as you walk in.
I've definitely got a visitor's pass.
Yeah, you've got a visitor's pass. Yeah. I'm going to have to find like a kid in year 6 to walk you around and show you around.
Yeah, I checked into a very outer area RSL.
Very good. Is this the highest you've ever been ranked in Supercoach?
I think so.
Fuck yeah, well done,
Yeah.
man, dude.
Thank
That's
you very
fantastic.
much.
The water boy,
Oh, yeah, where is
what's
he?
he
he
doing?
backed it up.
Did he?
Water
What's
boy
he on?
backed up his 1,300 with another 1,300. I don't actually have his. I don't think he said his rank on the show, but he went back to back, so he's
I'll text him.
flying. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to be pretty high up then. How good?
Rando, on the other hand, started with like a 1,380 or something stupid. He got like 1,000 this week. Poor old Rando.
Rando's a rogue little cat when
He
it
is.
comes to Supercoach. He puzzles me at times. Love him, but he's a puzzler, that kid.
All right, where are we?
Okay, now just for the record too, like usually I find we start normally we get to round 3 and round 4 and maybe we're starting to sniff at the 10K. This is the best I think we've ever started.
Yeah, I haven't gone back through my recent years, but I don't recall being 8,000 after round 2. Like
Yeah.
building into it, and apologies for repeating myself, I've said it a few times, but like the way we build our squads and the way I find it plays out quite often early is, you disperse your funds across your squad, buy the best cheapies. You might not get a few of the top scoring players because you're saving a bit of cash and you're moving to get to them. So a lot of people out there who just pick a red hot 17 or 18 to start the season, and then they've just got a bunch of like 198k nuffs basically. They're going to start well. So by spreading your funds, rank-wise, you'll start a bit slower. Honestly, it's happened to me every year I've played.
Yeah.
And yeah, so to be 8,800 after 2 rounds, stoked with it.
Unreal. Now, Kat's looking at me like a Cheshire fucking cat over here. What's going on?
I texted Maddie. His overall rank 4,529. And he's also left 70. I mean, I love when we
Here
say
we
how
go.
many
He's left
points we
points,
have.
has he? Yeah, everyone's left
He had
points,
a lot
Maddie.
of points on his bench as well, but well done to
Bobby
Maddie the water
Boucher,
boy.
very good at what he does. All right. Team list Tuesday. We'll fly through these quickly. Thursday, grand final replay and potentially preview. Storm v Panthers coming in from Amy Park. The brick is out. Grant Anderson is in. Nass on the extended. Panthers, Dane Laurie named at fullback. The ultimate gamble. Casey McLean has been named on the wing. I'd be watching this space. Same as Jack Cole at 5'8". Schneider's at 14. Blazers in jersey 18. Tom Jenkins in 22. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tom Jenkins come into the back line, but we will see. If I'm Ivan Cleary, Timbo, I'm going to hold my cards pretty close to the ye old chest.
Yes, agreed.
Anything Supercoach-wise from this game?
I mean, nothing enormous here. Like, I could talk about Dane Laurie, but Dill Edwards is only out 2 to 4 weeks max. Also, I feel like Penrith players are the quickest healers of all time, Dill
Yes.
Edwards included. So, Dane Laurie, look, he's every chance to be relevant at some point this year once he gets a starting spot, but with only a few weeks there before likely going back to that 14 role, you couldn't do it. And as was brought up to me on the SC Playbook podcast by Desi Creek, he's fullback only, didn't get dual. Bit of a spanner.
Shout out Desi Creek, always doing good things. Friday, 6 p.m, Was Roosters, Go Media Stadium for the Warriors, 1-17. Laban is in jersey 18. Good to see him in the vicinity again. And Tomato Martin in the 20. Roosters, Spencer Leniu comes in at prop. Radley at 13. Faketti's been named. I believe he might have a suspension though.
He must be
fighting it tonight. He's probably doing that as we speak. You guys will know what the result of that is. Then you've got Lindsay Collins on the bench, Billy Smith on the extended, played left centre in reserve grade on the weekend, Billy Smith. Anything to come out of this game, mate? I guess the impact on White? Collins returning, Spencer Lenny returning.
Nafahu's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't he, of emotions in the old SuperCoach circles. Round 1, you sort of sat there and went, didn't play great minutes, output not great. Granted, they got dominated. Round 2, the Roosters come out, beat Penrith. He played like 56 or 57 minutes. Great work rate. And all of a sudden you're going, all right, could be onto something here. So just the watch, mate, on obviously those big boys, Lenu, Radley back in there, Collins back. What do the minutes look like? So we'll see.
What did he score on the weekend? I don't know him. I didn't really.
Yeah, it was like
mid-50s?
It was like 56 in 57 minutes or something. So really good numbers. Again, for the dual position. And to be entirely honest with you, if he makes a little bit of cash and just sort of holds his spot there without losing value and he has that dual front row 2RF for me, and can hang about and not be a headache, I'm okay with that long term, as long as he doesn't sit there and start plummeting cash in poor minutes. So 56 in 57 minutes with 48 in base.
Yeah, I'd rather have him than Vimaga, I'll tell you that much for free. Late game Friday night, Broncos, Cowboys, Queensland Derby, Suncorp, Broncos 1-17, Katoni Staggs named on the extended. Cows. Toddy, my boy, swinging from the fences. Darby obviously comes in on the wing. Obviously, Braden Burns, another hamstring. Want to wish Braden Burns all the very best.
That's rough.
Lucky bugger. Jake Clifford at halfback. Tom Duffy out. I think we were all going to trade Tom Duffy this week anyway, but, mate, from a footy perspective, I think it's rough as guards.
Tough when your pack gets absolutely pounded into the core of the earth.
And you don't pick half the pack for him anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
I suppose the one thing I'll say in defence of Todd Payton, his defence wasn't very good. So, like, it was just off the back of creating nothing in attack. I'd be like, okay, well, you know, Nathan Cleary struggled to produce anything behind that pack.
Yep.
But he was a bit off in defence at times. So maybe he's looking at that.
Maybe he is, but I'll tell you what, I could throw a dart at the Cowboys and hit a play that hasn't defended well in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The 19-year-old halfback, I don't know about it.
Yeah.
O'Donnell stays on the edge. Tamalolo, he comes in at prop. Nanai off the bench. Lawton and Duffy drop there. Duffy, we're going to trade him anyway, mate, but is there anyone else you want to touch on from team list in those two sides?
Oh, just the only one at the Broncos. Do you have any suspicion who, and I know the answer is going to be no, but Staggs on the extended bench is a bit of a spanner just around Shibasaki. If he does come in this week or next, Shibasaki v Mariner.
Yep, the answer is no.
Yeah.
No idea. If I had gun to head, I reckon Shibasaki holds on to it.
Me too.
Yeah, but
I don't agree with it, but I
agree.
Sounds like leading into round 1, Shibasaki had the nod ahead of Mariner, so be it.
Yep. Saturday footy, 3 p.m. Sharks v the Rabbitohs, Shark Park. Sharkies at 1-17. Rabbitohs, Whiten comes back in. Myers on the sting. Tallis Duncan, I thought he was injured.
He was, but they're obviously hoping he's available.
At 13 there, LeBlanc off the bench as well. Ravalawa on the extended. Anything to touch on in this one, mate?
Well, there is one thing. Mid-Playbook podcast, recorded straight after team list, we were talking about captains. I'm saying, oh, yeah, nice little VC on Nicho Hines there. It might have been the Spy or Desi, and it would have been Spied. Apparently, is there a niggle or some shit? And apparently, Trindle was kicking at training and Nicho wasn't or sat out something. I don't know. News to you?
Yep, news to me.
Anyway, it's caused a panic.
Was that you, Spy?
It was Desi.
Okay,
It was Desi.
Read into that what you will. Could have been an article from 2011. All right, let's get into 5:30. Sorry, Desi, I love you, mate. Saturday 5:30, Dolphins v West Tigers up there at KO Stadium. Dolphins 1-17 at the moment. Finay Fuiaki and Jack Bostock on the extended. And mate, if both these guys come in, it could see a domino effect of about 9 players knowing the Dolphins. So I guess that's a wait and see. I think if both are available, you have to pick them, right?
Surely.
Have to.
The question will be, like where probably Bostock comes in. Does he come on the wing at centre? Like, does he come in? I'd imagine he probably just comes straight in for Junior Tupu, who hasn't been. He's been a bit underwhelming since in these couple of games thus far. But I still have a lot of hope for Junior Tupu. Just a bit slower than we sort of expected his progress.
I agree. For the West Tigers, Buller has been named to wait and see. Shout out to Tom Birmingham. He'll be devastated. He dropped Heath Mason last week. Could have been the play of plays, so we'll see how that plays out for him.
I thought that was an excellent flex decision.
I thought it was
made
great.
heaps of
It's
sense.
not the worst decision he's made.
Yeah.
It's not on the podium for worst decision he's made, but
Well ahead of his Harley Smith Shields round 1 play last year.
because he thought he sounded like an AFL player. Anyway, he doesn't listen to the show despite saying he does on numerous occasions, so that's completely fine.
this will be absolute confirmation.
This
of
will
it.
be the ultimate test.
Yeah,
won't it?
let's test. Fuck you, Tom.
Yeah, reach
We'll
out.
see if you're listening.
If you
Reach
heard,
out,
reach
mate.
out.
Coward.
Not a chance.
All right, Saturday, 7:35, Titans v Knights up there at C Bus. Jeez, I'm excited to see some footy on the Gold Coast again. Francis on the wing, AKP's out, 1-17 outside of that. For the Knights, Leo Thompson is out and Kai Pearce-Paul are out, two guys that have hit the ground running this year. Frizzell moves to the right edge, Adam Ellett in jersey 13. Brody Jones starts at prop. Thomas Cant coming off the bench. Anything with those games, mates?
Just Dave Fafita off the bench. 31 minutes, I think it was, on the weekend, on the bench again this weekend. You were like lightly eyeing him off as a little pod, weren't you?
I was, and I thought it was crazy. They played him off the bench. Then he came on, and I thought, okay, I get it. I thought he looked so average.
You'd be filthy if you started with him as a pod.
100%. I wish Dave Fafita was filthy about being benched. Didn't seem to worry him.
Yeah.
Shit, mate.
Concerning
But anyway.
the Titans and their D. We'll say one thing, could be, and I know the Knights' defence is quite good, but this game just reeks of like 40 to 38.
100%. Yeah.
Even with the Knights' D, don't get at me, but the Titans can attack. Nothing has changed in the off-season, but defence, oh God.
Completely agree. Knights fans, please do get up him. Leave
Don't
him alone
get
for a
up
little
him.
bit. Go after him.
Goo, you're the one that hates the Knights, so
Apparently
continue
so.
on, Roo.
Sunday, 4:05 p.m. Eels Bulldogs out there at Combank. Hawkins in the 7 on the extended. Maddo and Josh Addo-Carr there as well for the Doggies. Hayward at 6, Tilly on the edge, Morin bench, Curran in the front row, and Hayes on the bench as well. Don't know why I wrote it in that order. Hayward at 5'8". I really like it, Timmy. I think it was the right call personally.
I love Bailey Hayward, and everything you hear from the club is they just have the biggest raps on him. And now to see him playing as an 80-minute 5'8", while Matty Burton's out 2 to 4 weeks. Burton, Kikau's about 3 to 6 weeks, so not too long, which is encouraging. But Hayward, tell you what, if Burton was out longer, you'd nearly lock and load
100%.
at that price. But yeah, if Burton not far away, then Hayward likely to go back to 14. He's in a void.
Now, I want to say something respectfully and with the utmost respect to people out there. If you traded in Satilli last week because he scored 2 tries off the bench, you don't deserve the reward you've been given this weekend. And I want that to be very clear. It was a dumb decision, and I hate that it's worked out for you all.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Oh, it's so annoying.
Because he's about the 4th or 5th most traded in last week.
Yep.
Came out, played 36 minutes, scored 31 points, and then Kikau got injured very late on in the piece.
Yep.
Did we not go on about what a good signing he was, though?
Oh, yeah,
for
no,
most
he's a
of
great
last
signing,
year?
but
No knock on him.
no knock on him. But you don't bring in guys that score well in round 1 that are coming off the bench in round 2.
And scored a double.
Did you buy him? Have we hit a nerve?
No. No, I
Oh,
just
that
felt
would've
like
been
I was just in the
hilarious.
mood to challenge you.
No, I back that. Good on
Yeah.
you. You better get up earlier in the morning than that, Catman, do.
Does he become a buy?
I have him in a similar category where every time in the last decade I've trusted him and brought him, he doesn't score a try that week and he gets 25.
Yeah.
All
I'm
I'm
not
hearing
interested.
is that you're the problem.
Maybe I am the problem, and I wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time, but not for me. I think there's better options out there.
Yeah, he's got a break even of 1. So I think with all these like negative 80, negative 50, negative 40 break evens out there, I think just watch him this week, that 103 from round 1 against the Dragons, that's going to drop out of his rolling average. Let's see what he does. I assume he gets 80 minutes, and then if he looks good enough and plays big minutes and Kikau doesn't look to be returning anytime soon, you can buy him next week, but that break even's likely going to be a lot higher next week once the 103 drops out.
Yeah, very fair. Last game of the week, Manly Raiders coming to you from Brookie. Manly Turbo has been named callers at centre, Takiaho at prop. Extended, you got Talau and Nathan Brown. I assume Nathan Brown will come into this side if available, especially taking on this Raiders pack. For the Raiders, Tamale wins that wing spot. You've got Hapawate on the extended. Nicholson lands on the edge. Smithy's at 13. Trey Mooney and Mariota on the bench. Turbo is a walking head fuck this week. You couldn't script this worse, right?
Just, he had to be the last game, didn't he?
At 6:15, yeah, it's a clusterfuck.
Do you know what the chances of that happening are? 1 in 8.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. And you know,
What are your thoughts?
my thoughts are I don't want to think about it, if I'm completely honest. I think that what you guys said pre-show, which was to keep Tamale or one of these guys on your reserves bench so that you can utilise them if so, and obviously play Turbo as your reserve fullback. I love that. I think that is the play. But I'll tell you what, if everyone does that to me, which would make sense, my God, there's a beautiful opportunity there to want to be one of the few guys that captains him on Monday night if he does play. which the punter in me,
It'd be
the
huge.
guy that says hit on 16 is very interested.
It'd be a huge play even for you to captain him on Monday night as well.
Yeah, huge play. Fuck you. But yes.
So, yeah, as you sort of alluded to there, mate, if you're holding Tommy Trbojevic, which I highly advise you do, I think regardless of whether he plays or not, just make sure you've got him in your reserve fullback position. Don't put him in your flex if you can avoid it, which you should be able to, just because you want to Sunday night be able to take it off the reserve off him and put it on Tamale. Maybe it's Tom Starling, whoever it might be. So I think my plan will be probably, depending who I move to, but I likely won't play Tamale. And then if he does drop out Tommy Turbo, I'll put the reserve on Tamale.
If he is in your flex, there's no reason why you can't move him though, right? Like you just swap him with one of your fullbacks now?
You can do it now.
Now, yeah. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. Is there a world where you trade Turbo if he gets ruled out earlier in the week?
No.
Yeah. Do you know who they play next week?
No, who do they play?
Parramatta at Brookie.
He could score 80 sitting in the stands. No, I will not be trading Turbo. I think, mate, even if he misses 2 weeks, I can probably wear it. I won't be trading him. You hitting the frog?
Cheers, boys.
See you, brother.
See you
Love
later.
Cheers.
Good luck, Spite.
I'm holding Tommy.
Mate. Yeah, I'll back
He's
that.
listening.
Good man.
He's listening.
I'd vice captain
This time-
Spy at Oz Tag tonight
This
if I
time
could.
last night also
What about
noted,
the pins on the kid?
Yeah, they're Williams pins.
He can move.
Very chickenish.
Well, things.
See you, mate.
Yeah, anyway, Tom Trbojevic hold. Be wary of where he's placed in your team this week.
Yeah. Very fair point. All right, the big talking point this week. Tom Duffy has been dropped. A lot of us are looking for a replacement for him. The beauty of having Sandon Smith in your side, which I'm sure the vast majority of us do. You've probably got him at hooker if you've got Tom Duffy, so you can move him up to the halfback spot. Means that you can replace Tom Duffy with a hooker, or you can replace him with a halfback. If you are a Connor Watson or a Max Plath kind of guy, you can maybe even replace him with a 2RF. And if you're a Corey Horsburgh guy, you can maybe even replace him with a front row forward. Fuck me, if you're a Dylan Lucas guy, you could even replace him with a CTW. Let's focus on the halfbacks and hookers though.
Yeah.
A few guys come to mind: Humphreys, Starling. Volkman was thrown up last week. Probably won't be this week, given not named. Talk to me, Timmy. What are you thinking?
A lot of options, mate, and you've outlaid them nicely. Humphreys and Starling are probably the two most popular. I think they're the third and fourth most traded in as it stands this week. Humphreys 305k, break even of neg 25. He scored 67 and 55 to start the season. Goal kicking, just like, will have decent base, makes a lot of tackles, enough runs, takes on the line a little bit. I like Jamie Humphreys. The issue with it is just their draw, mate. They have a few very tough weeks coming up. I think the Sharks put them to the sword this week with a few injuries. You know, Hubner, they've got a lot of injuries, including Hubner suspended now. Tallis Duncan might not play at Shark Park. I think the Sharks towel him up. That goes into the Panthers. 2 very tough weeks, so I would be reluctant to play him. Jamie Humphreys is one, and Tommy Starling is the other one, mate, who's very popular this week if you want to do it in the hooker slot and move Sandon Smith down. The numbers around Tommy Starling, before I throw to you, sorry, mate. 342k, break even of negative 57. Plenty of attack in the first few weeks, basing 41 per game, so averaging that 69 minutes per game. Base isn't great, but behind this Raiders pack, which has been pretty dominant, the attacking opportunities will come. It's very hard. What are you thinking?
Mate, I had my heart set on Humphreys. And then today I started thinking about it. Now I wouldn't say I'm 50-50. I still would rather Humphreys, man. I've just been scarred by Tom Starling on so many occasions. I fear that as soon as I get him, these attacking stats will dry up. I fear as soon as I get him, Ricky Stewart's going to outthink the room and play Owen Paddy for another 15, 20 minutes or something. I know the draw isn't great. Jamie Humphreys looks to me to be a guy that will just go at the game, though. He'll run the football. He'll take him on to try and get himself back into it. I know people have concerns about Latrell Mitchell coming back and goal kicking soon. Mate, when does Latrell Mitchell come back realistically?
He's listed round 5.
Okay. if they're winning games of football and they're doing okay, like I think they probably looked at their draw and went, fuck, there's every chance we're 0-4 when Latrell comes back. They're now 2-0. They'll probably be 2-2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Still not bad.
Not bad, but if he comes back, does he goal kick straight away?
With a hamstring
hamstring?
issue? Probably not.
Why would you? If Humphries is hitting them all right, that just doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I think Humphries will be okay. You're only going to have him for a few weeks before you move him on. What's his break even?
He's
be around the same
negative
mark.
25. And then the way I see it, mate, and I mentioned on the Playbook potty, but it then goes, they then have the Roosters round 5, Cowboys round 6, then the Doggies into the Storm. He's not going to be in my team for that long because I'm shifting him to Nathan Cleary ASAP. I think, probably not as desperate as Cleary, but those who do own Cleary, which is more than most, 50-odd%, they're probably looking to get Hines in pretty quickly. So it's not a long-term play. You're banking that cash and moving whoever it is up to a gun halfback. It might even be Jerome Hughes, to be fair.
You're slowly starting to manoeuvre me towards Tom Starling, if I'm completely honest.
Why? The draw.
Just the bigger break even, the draw.
I know.
My gut says, no, idiot, we're not doing this again for the 6th year in a row, but more so from a draft perspective than a classic perspective. He's burnt me in the past, but yeah, let us know in the comments, out of those two, which one do you guys think? Leave in the comments which one you're going and give us a reason why. I'd love to have a read over them the next few days because I am a little bit all at sea at the moment. It might be a good old-fashioned coin toss here.
Yeah. And it is very coin toss vibes, but if you are going to let us know in the comments, pause it right now and then have a think about it. Give us your answer, and then I'll now go on to my next point. It's just that 103 in the rolling average for that extra week for Tom Starling. And he's 40K more expensive. The break-even's negative 57, but the 63 drops out and he maintains the 103, whereas Humphries has, it's not bad by any means. He's got the 67 for next week, so the 55 drops out. But to have a ton in your rolling average at that price when it's a short-term play, as I said, whichever way it ends up, I'm trying to get to Cleary in 2 to 3 weeks anyway. So I'm like, it probably just makes sense to target that cash.
Oh, yeah. Mate, Joey Humphries in there at the moment, but Humphries Bear is getting very low.
If Humphries was like dual half 5'8", and I go, you know what, I can hold him at 5'8" for, I just heard that as well. Jeez.
It took a minute.
Apologies, guys.
Fucking Perth over here, 3-hour delay.
Well, I'm in the zone here.
Keep up with me, big dog.
If Humphries, I know if, should, could, isn't, if he was dual position, bit stiff not to get dual half hooker, FYI, Humphries, who played a bit of it at Manly and was reportedly set to play like hooker we thought off the bench early on. Anyway, it hasn't happened, but I'd look to hold him, but only at halfback. I'm like, I need to get Cleary into my team soon. So, yeah.
I am leaning towards Tom Starling now, heavily.
Because I told you to.
Well, sure. But money-wise, can I do it? Yes, I can. Yes. What are you thinking off the dome when we're having this conversation? You look like a Tom Duffy kind of guy to me, Catmandu. Do you own Tom Duffy?
I do.
Okay. Who are you thinking out of those two? You do love
To be honest, when you threw it out to the comments, I thought that's great. I can't read. I also was excited to read some comments. So I'm not really in the position to make a statement just yet. Going to do a bit of a Dylan Brown and just like process everything and then I'll speak. Don't want to say the wrong thing.
She's done a Dylan Brown. The Buy Round podcast has offered her a 10-year deal at $1 quazillion.
Yeah.
Now for the announcement
but I
show,
will keep
Cat will be leaving this break-evens.
No, I'll let you know, but I just have bigger fish to fry before I think about that.
Yeah, fair. I'm leaning towards Tom Starling. Gun to the melon of one Williams, Tim. What are you doing?
Gun to melon. And apologies to SC Playbook listeners because I think I had a slight lean to Humphries, but again, we record as soon as teams drop. There's a lot that goes through, and Duffy was dropped. Starling, having had time to process it, is the quicker cash grab.
Can't wait till we get to Saturday and
it's-
Danny Levo is starting at 9.
I was just going to say,
Can you imagine?
it's hard to disagree with that based on, and you mentioned it already, but Raiders' performance versus Rabbitohs' performance.
That's the other thing as well. The Raiders have looked sensational.
They've
South Sydney
looked
have won. They
really
haven't looked
good.
great.
Yeah.
Let's have a look who the Raiders have next week. They have the Cowboys in Townsville.
See what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah, it's got to be Starling.
Like everything about that, because firstly, Raiders pat v Cowboys pat. Secondly, just that surface. It's such a fast surface. Starlo, little whip
little Starling. I think it's going to be the play
I think
for
I've
me,
just decided
so.
to.
Still leave us in the comments, especially if you're a Humphreys person. I want to hear your reasoning. Timbo, anything else on that topic?
I suppose the only other one to throw in there, mate, and whether it's around these two and these trades, but Peter Mamouzelos, who a week ago looked to trade, went down to the Great Winds Stadium. I was in attendance. Bloody hell, it was hot. Played 80 minutes after playing 72 in week one, 94 points. We're just sitting here talking about cash generation and negative 35 break even. He has the tough draw too, but a big minute number 9. He's got to be in the conversation. Like, he's earned some big cash too.
Yeah. Did you expect Mamouzelos to play 80 minutes?
No.
Nor did I. It really threw a spanner for me.
What I will say is, prior to like things unfolding in the preseason, it was looming as being probably like a Dodd starting and the Humphreys is 14.
Yep.
And then Humphreys comes on at number 9. So once it unfolded as it did with that suspension to Dodds, Humphreys starting and that sort of, Bud Sullivan off the bench, that's had to have helped, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so things have changed.
I will just say on Mamouzelos, and I understand it's about a quick cash grab and that 94 will be in his rolling average for 2 weeks, but like the 2 attacking stats he got might have been the 2 softest plays of the entire year potentially.
And you know what? If the Bunnies, and I mean this goes for Humphreys as well, if the Bunnies had the Raiders draw, no, I mean, it's not a knock, to be fair, on Manly, whose middles are decent enough. I know Sipley's out this week. But then into that Cowboys game, and then the Raiders had Sharks and Panthers, it'd be different.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, I still think I'm Team Starling.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're going to get hurt, but...
Oh, without a doubt, we're going to get hurt. But that's what I've signed up for, Timbo.
Yeah.
My heart's here to be broken. All right, let's move to Bluewealth Property, guys. Are on board again for season 2025. And tonight, they have an exclusive property showcase. It is a webinar, one of my absolute favourite words this side of the planet. This one kicks off at 7 p.m. tonight. So you can jump on the webinar. The link is in the description. Follow along there. Bluewealth's first property showcase for the year is in a location that has done extremely well for Bluewealth clients in the last 2 years. Me and Tim think we know where the location is, and I'll give you the hot tip. They've been absolutely flying there, mate.
Oh, yeah, haven't they?
They've been killing it.
If you're listening on Thursday, it's too late. And Morts and Tony, the great men they are, they could shoot me in the foot for this, but I'm going to say that if you're listening to this on Thursday, they'll have a link to the show. Is that risky or not?
It's a punt.
Yeah.
And
I know
want
they
them
do
to know
often.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
saying
saying
that.
it.
Regardless, I think you should get there live tonight.
Don't muck
on the
around.
webinar.
Don't muck around because
Yeah.
they want it to be exclusive. And when they want it to be exclusive, times they go, if you're not there, you bugger you.
Don't dilly-dally. Get down to
I don't know.
Auto Alley. That's fine. I need a better co-host next time.
Where's Auto
Can you
Alley?
get some culture on you? For fuck's sake.
Or is that some little car repairing mascot?
No, but that was weirdly targeted. Property showcase tonight, 7 p.m. Make sure you are there via webinar, and I will have plenty more events coming up for Bluewealth Property over the next few weeks. As I said, link is in the description. Go and check them out. Now, they are providing us with $5,000 redos as a prize for the Beers and Breakevens SuperCoach competition. That was fucking weird. The code is 295466. 295466 is the code. Come and join us. Kat will probably put it on the screen, but she might not. I don't know.
I'll see how I feel later.
Good. Sweet. 295466. Now, talk to me.
Which is when you said Super League, and this is digressing, and I don't really care, so I'm going to go on with it anyway. I've always wanted to have a crack at English Super League fantasy.
Is it a thing?
It is. It's quite poorly run, and all this chat of the NRL buying them out. If they do, I'm almost certain that a big priority will be to get it up to scratch and doing it. I'd love to do a bit of Super League fantasy. It'll be fun as.
You think it will be a priority if they do?
I think it has to be. It's such an easy way to grow the game.
And it's a great way to learn the game
Yeah.
too.
That makes sense, but my experience with the NRL at times.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
know
we'll
that
see.
having spoken to some pommies who play it and that about it, I've wanted to get involved in content in the past, but you know they're a hard nut to crack, the old Super League mob, and they've sort of said that it's not run particularly well, but gee, it'd be so much fun, I reckon.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be good
Anyway.
gear. Now, our weekly winners. Now, this is a beers and break-evens first. I've never seen anything of this before, and it's actually shocking to me that we haven't seen this before at some
It
point.
concerns me that it may have happened in the past and you haven't noticed.
There's every chance it has happened in the past and we haven't noticed. That's actually a very, very good point. But we've been doing this for trophies 1, 2. We've been doing this for 3 years. That's 27 weeks. A little bit of quick maths for you. I think that's 106 weeks we've done this for. 27 times. No, it's not. It's not even close to that. Ignore me. It's like 80. Anyway, 81. That's 81 times we've given it out, isn't it? 27
108.
times 3.
3.
27 times 3.
Yeah,
7
that's
rounds.
correct.
81, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you were a teacher or something.
Yeah, not a good one. That's the reason why I'm in this chair. I'm not sure if we've ever seen an even score during the week.
Do you reckon you're a worse teacher or Supercoach advice giver?
Mate, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I did a lot of super coaching when I was teaching.
Did you
Do you
also...
want to know?
you go,
Sorry,
Kat.
I was just going to say, I want to know how many of your former students now come to you for or like watch your
There's a few.
SuperCoach stuff.
I actually had one of them who came up to me at our live show last year, and last time I taught her, she was 11 and in my year 5 class. Now she's 18. Tried to give me a hug, and I was like, I'm not a big jail guy. You stand over there. Don't come near me.
Did
I
you
don't know
also
what to
have,
do here.
over the years, a gun teacher's aide to carry you through classes?
Yes, always. You need a gun teacher's aide. They're the best thing in the world.
Did you give out detentions and stuff?
Oh, when I had to. When the time was necessary.
Give us your detention voice.
What would a student that you taught, how would they describe you reckon?
They would have said I was a good time. I was the fun guy. Don't worry about that.
What was that about jail?
That's fucked. Okay. Now, that's rogue as shit, Tim Williams. Anywho. Okay, our 2 winners this week were Darren and Piggy. Mark Riddell, I assume. But we have had to make a tough call, and I think you just have to wear this. What we're going to do, we're not giving you 2 prizes. That's not happening. We're going to give it to the person who is ranked the highest. And I'll tell you what, if you're Piggy, you're ranked 27th overall and you've lost, you poor bastard. That's the most brutal thing I've ever heard. The award, the football and the hat that we will get eventually is going to Darren. He coaches the Dazzlers, 1,551. He is ranked 7th overall.
Crazy.
Good God, I feel sorry for Piggy.
Yeah, but look, if Piggy's been listening to the podcast for a while, we often open the show up, with a sponsor, and then we talk about the fine print and how that if it's ever split, it goes to the highest rank. So look, Piggy'd know about this, and he'll be okay. He'll understand that we often clarify how this works.
I'll tell you what, if Piggy can reach out to me and put together a good enough argument, I'll listen to him. But I need a screenshot of the team and I need your very best essay. I'm not ruling out a voice note that maybe I can play on next week's show. In fact, I want a voice note from Piggy putting his argument forward as to why he thinks he should still get a football and hat despite being ranked 27th, loser. And then we will play it on the show and we'll let the people decide next week.
That's good for me.
I think that's very fair.
Yeah.
Over to you, Mark Riddell. Shout out to Dazzlers. Reach out, beersandbreakevens@gmail.com. For the love of God, send me your address. Okay. It's that time of the week again.
Yeah.
Get those vocals ready, Catman. Warmed up a little earlier. Timmy, stat, deep.
Dive.
Jason Saab, boy can move. Talk to me.
Kat's getting better after a slow start to the year. She's getting there. He's a very interesting one this week, mate. And I already know where your head's going with you. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
But,
He's
mate,
a trap.
when we hear about cash grabs, Saab, have you looked into him at all?
No, I'll tell you what I know. This is what I
What do you
know will
know?
happen. Saab, he's going to have a break even of -30. He's making 4 line breaks a game. He's looking tremendous. I'll lock him in for a 16 this weekend as soon as you all get hyped about
Do you know
it.
what he's averaging?
74.
111.
That's fucked. He'll get 16 this week. He'll do it to you all again.
And he'll still make 100K.
Mad. He'll get 16, and he'll get 16. He'll get in. Something will happen with Jason Saab. It always does. I love the guy. He's a fucking freak. I keep on defending him, saying it's mad that he's added like coming out of his own, and everyone's like, no, he's just a fast guy. He's not. He's actually a good footballer. Supercoach wise, he's got the Jack Goslers to me. that I just can't do because I know it's going to end poorly for me.
111-point average across 2 games. Keeping in mind the second of said games, they got pumped by the Warriors and you had like 4 line breaks or 5 line breaks, something stupid. Break even of negative 54. Now, everything you say is true, Roo. Like, there's volatile and then there's Jason Saab, who's almost in his own class with another bloke, Jesse Arthurs. But he's even more volatile than Jesse Arthurs, I reckon. But base of 21 this season, which adds up to what he had last season in base. Very ordinary. Needs the attack, we know that. But the attack's there. The big one with Jason Saab is, and this makes it even tougher for people, Tom Trbojevic has to be there, right? Like, if Tommy Turbo isn't there feeding him, and I haven't gone back through the 2 games and had a look at it, but I'm pretty confident every single one of his freaking line breaks, it nearly would have been Tommy Turbo throwing the ball. I went back to last season, small sample size, granted, with the injuries that these two have with the hammies between these blokes, dead set.
Yes.
4 games together last season, he averaged 42.25 points. There was some games Saab without Turbo in the back end of the year before, really soft games where he got some bigger scores, but I like the play if we knew Tom Trbojevic was playing, because he gets the Raiders this week, who have been really good, and they could win in Brookie this weekend. But defensively, their edges, I've never been confident in. They're a bit better this year so far, but I still don't have a lot of confidence in. Into Parramatta next week. Saab could easily go 100 plus in that game again. Gets a few price rises. You don't even have to play him in your 17. Your lack of interest right now around this is remarkable.
No, look,
the numbers are pretty. The case is pretty good,
mate. If you told me Ricky Stewart forgot to pick a left winger this weekend, I'd still have concerns about doing it. Like, I just, you know what, and you know what, you know why I'm just interested. I don't need cash in my CTWs. I feel like this year has been an absolute gold mine for cheapies. I just don't think I need to take the Saab risk. I'm happy not to do it. I think Timmy makes a really good point. If your cheapies are set and you're looking for something a little bit different to do, I think it's a very good play for you guys. I'm going to back my gut feel in here and just avoid. But the stats speak for themselves.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm the same. Like, I had 4 gun CT dubs last week. Actually, yeah, I probably should have brought this up at the top of the show, but dropped in the SC Playbook subscriber WhatsApp chat, but I ended up brushing Tom Gilbert after our chat last week.
What a fucking dog. What a dog. We had a nice bit of content. Cat slaved away for hours. Mate. We didn't get to see her family that night. It was just... She was here until midnight slaving away, and Timmy just goes, "Oh no, I'm just going to do my own fucking thing." Fuck
I was wondering where that video went.
Honestly,
yeah, sorry, Kat, I haven't apologised for that yet, but
that wasn't your apology.
Don't worry.
I looked into it more and more, and with major knock on Tommy Gilbert, who I was bringing in for Seyfarth, and I was bringing in for Charlie Geimer, I think it was, and I was going to give Seyfarth 1 more week. There were more pressing trades than Gilbert last week, who I think he's still a good buy, don't get me wrong. He went all right on the weekend, but I just thought, the big minutes were a concern, lacking sort of any major upside. You're a bit reliant on base. More to the point, though, Rue, and the reason that I changed my tact was I knew there was going to be a lot of good trades this week, and I wanted to get ahead of the pack, and that was Tamale. So I got Tamale last week, took a little bit of a gamble there in terms of his job security, got him in, which has now freed one up for this week, and it's worked out fantastic. So circling back, Dylan Lucas went to my back row. I have 3 gun CT dubs, but my cheapies are all good there. So I don't have room for him. But if you might have got a few of your gun CT dubs wrong early on and you need to move one of them on, I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you went a guy like Selwyn Cobbo, maybe, I know a lot of people looked at him as a pod. He hasn't done too badly, but...
Mate, Cobbo's going good.
But, mate, he's scoring a handful of tries and not he scored 3 tries in the first week and scored 70, didn't he?
Listen to this. And you're right, but 85 points in round 1 with a hat-trick, which is horrific.
Yeah.
Round 2, 57 against the Raiders. They were pretty well beaten. He scored 1 try. My point is this round Broncos players who, God knows how they respond to Madge this week. I think they towel up the Cows. This draw's ridiculous. Cowboys, Dolphins, Tigers, Roosters, and then Warriors. Those first 4 games are all at Suncorp.
Yeah, I worry about the Queensland Derby factor is something that I have concerns about, but I've never been a big Selwyn Cobbo guy when it comes to SuperCoach though.
No, me either. I thought it was an unnecessary drive.
No, that's fair. Well, find me someone that hasn't been doing too well, and then maybe you can make that move.
Can I ask a question? So, for say I have Casey McLean, for example, and I'm trying to work out
Just asking for a friend.
I'm asking. Say somebody had Casey McLean on their team, and obviously he's a risk factor. It's very he got called, like he's in the team list, but it's very likely he gets dropped.
There's a chance
week.
he gets dropped. Yeah.
Would say making a jump to like a sub for a few weeks to get a bit of a cash grab, like would that be a good move for someone like me because I've got the cash there to do it?
I don't mind it at all, and you can play him. Provide Turbo's playing.
Well, I have Turbo, so I really need him to play too.
You can play him against the Raiders, you can play him against the Eels, and then you trade him a week or two after, potentially for a shitload and some real good points.
I really like the para play specifically.
The para play's so
I
enticing.
love the para play.
If you don't have Tamale, would you go him over Saab?
No, I go Tamale.
Go Tamale. If you don't have Shibasaki.
Shibber all of a sudden with Stags back in that poor score last week
alarming.
doesn't look as good. Yeah,
Yes.
so possibly, yeah.
Possibly. Okay.
That's a strong possibly. Don't read into
Who's
that
the other
too
one?
much.
Toya.
No, I'd get Toya.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have all three of the players.
And
that
most
you
people
picked.
do.
Good. Most people do.
Yeah.
But if you happen to miss one of them or whatever,
Okay.
yeah. Look, I'm not anti the Jason Saab play. I'm going my gut call. I think there's other options that I'm happier to go with.
I'm going to dabble with it, guys.
Yeah, I don't mind it for
I'm
you.
dabbling.
Yeah,
I'm dabbling.
Greg, who's who in the Mars Hugh, talk to me. And thank you for making me get him at the start of the season. Let's rip that Band-Aid off. Because I know it's coming. And it's very warranted and it's very fair and I hate it. Proceed.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Bullshit.
Oh, my
Look like
goodness.
Luna Park sitting over there.
Greg the leg. You know the best thing about this? He's not getting that much more. He's getting more ball than last year, but not getting heaps more ball. He's just in beast mode.
Yeah.
84 average with just one try so far this season. On the weekend, 84 points, no try or assist, 20 runs, 9 tackle busts. Wait for the best bit, 6 offloads.
Yeah, he's on fire. I'll tell you what, I've been critical of AOB's coaching over the years. And if I could be critical of one more thing this week, what I would love to see is get Bradman Best and Greg Marju in a room and introduce them to each other. Because I would love to see Bradman just give him some good ball at some point. But his scores have been incredible, but they could have been landslides.
He could be averaging 140.
100% he could be.
Like, surely at some point, AOB says to him, mate, you realise you got a winger there who is like unstoppable one-on-one / one-on-none.
Yeah. Give him a name tag. Make sure he's aware of him.
Something. Greg Marju, you get him one-on-none without a defender in front of him on the line. I'm backing him 7 out of 10 times to get it down.
Yeah, and unders. Heaps unders.
9 out of 10 against
9 out of 10. Like, he's a juggernaut.
Against no defender.
Against no defender, I'm backing him
There
in.
will be a case where he finds a way to screw it up, but more often than not. To tell you the somewhat good thing about here for us, Roo, as Marju owners, I haven't checked his most recent ownership, but he was like, when we were chatting last week, like 20%.
Yeah.
-4 break even, so there's money incoming.
22%.
22%. So better cash generation buys this week, which people will probably prioritise. CT dubs for most are going well, so they'll be sitting there going, right, who do we trade to him? They've got the buy next week, so I think he'll be ultra popular. I think he scores well against the Titans, surely. I think he'll be ultra popular in round 5, but if nothing else, he should make an extra 50-odd K by then. Little wins.
That looming buy is a little bit alarming for me. I'm going to be missing a few players though.
I've done my homework, Roo, for you, as usual.
Talk to me.
It's not too dramatic. So I have Lucas. Before round 1, when I decided to get Lucas in, I went, all right, I've got Ponga, Lucas, Marju, and I'm like, that round 4 buy is a bit of an issue. The CT dub matchups are fantastic. So let me go through them on the spot. The Roosters have the Titans. So Rob Toya, thank you.
Delicious.
Shibasaki, if he's still there, / Arthurs, depending if you're going the Arthurs route. He's got the Dolphins at Suncorp, another good matchup. The Raiders and Tamale, granted I didn't factor this one in prior to round 1, but have the Cowboys at QCB Stadium in Townsville. So all those ones, I was like, sweet, I can sit those players that week and at least know that I've got good matchups for my cheapy CT dubs.
Yep.
So where very relieving.
That's good to hear. I love that. Fantastic news. Okay. Greg the Leg, done and dusted.
Yeah.
Our next man is Connor Tracy. 2 first names, but I love this fella. Looking good at fullback.
Few good little options. Like we've spoken about him the last couple of weeks. So I won't talk about Fletcher Sharp anymore, but just sitting there going, gee, he looks good.
Yeah.
His dual CT dub fullback. I wish he was dual CT dub 5'8". Nonetheless, still a good buy. Connor Tracy touched on him the first couple of rounds, mate, and he's just this is a bit speculative, but I feel like with Burton out, who so much of their attack centres around, you now have Bailey Hayward coming in at 5'8". I think Tracy has a bigger role in attack, doesn't he? Surely.
I think so, yeah.
90 in week 1, 63 in week 2 against the Titans. He scored a try both weeks. 6 tackle busts week 1, just a couple on the weekend. He's had, how good's that? 24 points in +2 hit-ups and 6 in +1 hit-ups both weeks. So what's that? 18 runs both weeks. Pretty good little buy.
Yeah, he if you get a box of favourites and everyone rushes to them and everyone takes the Tommy Turbos, the Latrells, the KPs, and at the end of it, you're normally left with a couple of Turkish delights and you go, fuck. Then you have a Turkish delight and you're like, these are actually mad. These are criminally underrated. That is Connor Tracy. He's a Turkish delight.
I don't know about this analogy because
I think it's perfect.
I think that the Turkish delight only tastes good because you want something and that's all that's left. You've dropped your standards.
Nah, they're mad. I stand by it. I think they're great. Okay. Would they be my first pick? No, I would Connor Tracy them and I'd leave them to the end as well. But then you get him, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty fucking good. That's Connor Tracy. There's
Timmy.
so much more appealing things out there, but he'll do a job for you every single week. He has a bit of upside. He has more upside than you expect. He breaks tackles. He offloads. I'll never do it. I know I won't. I'll feast on those Morrows and all those shit early. But I get it.
Underrated, by the way.
Underrated?
A Morrow is underrated.
So underrated.
Like
The
they're
poor man's
actually
Mars
lit.
bar. They're great.
Yeah, they're lit.
SuperCoach, talk to me, Connor Tracy. Good luck topping that.
I'm glad I witnessed that from you two.
Yeah.
I'm going to piss you both off straight off
Here
the
we go.
bat.
He's like an old gold chocolate guy. Or
No,
something.
I'm not that weird.
Oh, yeah, I love old gold. Shut up.
Okay.
Just a Dove white chocolate.
Nah, they're mad. I'll pay that.
Oh, Dream. Sorry.
Dream.
I've had,
Yeah,
all
they
right,
are
good.
Yeah.
Dove, that took me back though.
Yeah,
The
they see Dove, didn't they?
Dove's still getting into it?
No.
Not around?
I haven't seen Dove in
They're
years.
a bestseller in Cooma.
That's mad. It's actually a bar of soap Tim's been eating for the last 20 years.
What were we talking about? Connor Tracy.
Actually, we were talking about Turkish
You know
delight.
what? Fletcher Sharp and Connor Tracy are blokes I would love to go on, and in another year I would. But all my gun CT dubs, like Gary, Marju, Tuivasa Shek, Dylan Lucas, who I've since shifted to to RF, and then all my 4 cheapies, they're all doing well. So I just don't have room for it because they're both dual CT dub fullback. So like if Sharp was at 5'8", it'd be a different story. If Sharp was at 5'8", I reckon I'd go Dill Brown to him this week, but he's not. So
Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, our next one, Mark Nawanga Nitawase. Now, he's in my draft side, and I'm slowly starting to think he might be one of my better draft picks of the year. If Zach Hosking wasn't injured, I would be bringing him in this week. The Hosking one's forced my hand. I think at 400K, I think this is a huge pod play people can go with, and I absolutely love it. I am filthy Zach Hosking has got injured because it's just pushed me in other directions.
yeah, I mean, I was going to basically use Nwanga Nitawazi as an intro for you, but you've sort of jumped ahead of me there.
Sorry,
so
yeah.
all good,
Well,
mate.
I knew that things had changed.
Yeah. So, I mean, regardless, you talk about rugby league and SuperCoach eye test.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, he looks good, doesn't he? He's like,
Yeah.
week 1, they got pounded. He was one of their best, and he was just beating that first tackle every time. Had 6 tackle breaks in round 1 in a team that was thumped. He had 57 against the Broncos, 6 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Not a lot of runs, I will say, which is probably the one thing. He had
Yes.
11 runs in round 1. He only had 9 in round 2. So that's the one thing. But the other note on that, there was a lot of points scored in those 2 games.
Yeah.
Round 2, a try assist, couple of try contributions. He had a couple of offloads, just the 2 tackle breaks. But like the few offloads he threw in contact for tries or line breaks and all that sort of stuff, he just looked good.
Mate, every run he has is worth 6 points. Like, he might not have many of them, but he will beat the first defender, and then he'll do the rankest offloads I've ever seen. They look disgraceful coming out, but he just makes it work.
And then sort of sit there and go, you probably don't want to pay too much money for him. Like, if he's a bit of tackle line, we don't know how the Roosters are going to go week in, week out. Like, he's 438K. He's very cheap.
Yeah, I'm really filthy with how this has played out. I was so excited about him on Sunday night. It is what it is.
All these CT dubs, I don't have room there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I think he's a very, very good play, Marky Mark. Okay, next one. Tino. If you don't have him, you listened to me in the 2 weeks and then you tuned out of Biz and Breakevens. This is another one I'm glad I fell on my sword for because he looks tremendous. Talk to me, Timbo.
Not a lot to talk about here, mate. 36 tackles. This is first NRL game back from an ACL injury in a 12-month layoff, essentially.
In the team going backwards.
Yeah. 36 tackles, 15 runs, 9 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, and a try. All of this against one of the best defensive sides in the competition in the Bulldogs at Belmore in a well-beaten team, 109 SuperCoach points, 55 minutes in scorching hot conditions. Mate, seriously.
Pretty impressive, isn't it?
When I bought him, I was confident. I'm like, this will be great. I said all preseason, coming back from the ACL early on in hotter conditions, they'll ease him back into minutes. It could be a slow burn. Couldn't be been further from a slow burn.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm very glad I've started with him, and I think if you don't have him, you just have to get him in this week.
You don't have to this week.
Oh, sorry, no, you're actually right.
Yeah,
Yeah, the week after.
Because of the buy in round one, no price change for next week. You can get him this week, but I think there are more pressing trades this week. Just make sure you get him by next week.
No, I completely agree. I think you wait until next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I forgot about the bye week one. He looks sensational, though. All right, mate, should we get stuck into some sit v starts for this week? I guess I'll start. First thing that I will be doing is moving Trbojevic to the bench to cover that potential clusterfuck. So that fills up one reserve for me automatically. I am then going to have Cameron Munster. I'm going to have Jack Williams. And then this kid I've brought into the squad, I've just given him an opportunity. His name's Payne Haas. Don't know if you've heard of him, but he's averaging 100 in the front row without a try. So, yeah, probably gets a bait on the bench. He's no Terrell Mays, no Corey Horsburgh. He hasn't been in the team for long, but he's got to earn his stripes, and he'll probably get an R on the old Rocky Boulder.
Probably wouldn't play him, mate. Just no upside.
No upside. No. Yeah, Payne Haas, Munster, Trbojevic, and then I'll probably go Jack Williams or Jesse Arthurs. I will probably do that as a vibe call as we get closer. What are you thinking?
Probably going to have to play Iongi just because of that turbo uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't play Iongi in the game... sorry, I've got the round 4 up. Yeah. If Turbo was to pull out, and I'd potentially be down a fullback.
Yep.
So Ponga's in the flex at the moment. So I'd probably play Iongi, not loaded with confidence, the way they've been, and then coming up against the Dogs in their defence. So Iongi, Dill Brown, Tino Malawi, and then I'll be honest, mate, I'm still working out my third trade. Been a big afternoon, but Payne Haas is very hard to go past. So, I can go Hopgood to Haas and get him in. I'm 100% playing Jesse Arthurs.
Yep.
Do we normally do sit v start after trades? I feel like we do.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm talking about my trade-ins without... anyway, I'm getting
Well, you
Jesse
never
Arthurs.
do the trade you say anyway, so I just thought, what's the point, you know?
You never do the trades that I don't tell you to do anyway. So let's just circle back to my trades because this will all make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Purdue out, Duffy out,
Yep.
leaning now towards Starling, who I'll probably play in that final game. I'm going to play Jesse Arthurs against the Cowboys 100%.
Yep.
Could be 13 points, but it could be 113. So, yeah, that's why I'm leaning. Then I'll play, obviously, Metcalf, Brown. I've got the 3 other guns, CT Dubs. That's why I'm leaning.
Yeah, so just for the record too, my trade's very similar. I'll be going Duffy to Starling, I think now. I'll be going Purdue to Arthurs, and then I'll be going Hosking to Haas.
I said to you pre-show, I'm like, it annoyed me because I'm getting in the first, second, and third or fourth most trading plays this week with my boost. But early on in the season, sometimes it just is what it is. The best buys are obvious, and there's no point going against them. Set your team up, get this platform, earn the cash. Not to say the time for pods isn't now, but there will be time for pod plays later on when they emerge. But certainly the first couple in like a Starling / Humphreys and Arthurs, they just look like must buys to me this week. And then whether I go with Haas or not, friggin' hell, the argument against Haas, there isn't one really.
Yeah, I think they are just the right decisions, and there's no point making the wrong decision just to be different.
Just to have pride and say, I've done something different.
No
I've got enough differentials in my team as it stands and can make to look a few more later, but I want to be sitting after 7 or 8 rounds, top 1,000 or 2,000, and then go, all right, I've earned my cash, I've got some depth in my squad, let's start to go for a few pods and with a bit more of a security blanket rather than being 12K or something and going, do I do a pod and risk going down to 15K? And yeah.
I hope I'm not getting ahead of myself, which I tend to do, but I am really excited about this season. I think that both of us, when I look at our teams, I think cash-wise we're in a fantastic spot. I don't think we've shit the bed too much to start the season, and the things that we have made mistakes on, we've been able to sort it out in this first week, and we've got a good rank at the moment. I'm feeling really good.
It's exciting. I mean, I look at my bed shits from round 1. There weren't many. One of them's definitely Tom Duffy now.
Yep.
But, that's been covered in the form of, well, hopefully, in the form of Humphreys or Starling. And Humphreys was always planned to go to Nathan Cleary anyway as soon as I could.
Yep.
All that has changed there is that it's cost me one extra trade to get there in the process anyway. And that being said, he would have had to make a lot of money and there would have been another trade, cash generation anyway. So let's see how much coin whether Humphreys or Starling can make. So that's my major one that I probably got wrong and had to move on. But the rest of it, very happy with it. So yeah, good signs, mate. Let's hope it lasts.
Yeah, for sure. And mate, when I have a look at the top, 10 most traded in players this week, interesting to see Pappy at 4.1%. He's ninth, so he's not like high up the list, but is that just Turbo owners
I guess
panicking?
So. Turbo and Walsh owners panicking?
Walsh, yeah. Mate, when it comes to Walsh, like I've always said for ages, like I'm a little bit hesitant with him, but I look at that draw over the next few weeks, as you pointed out before, like as everyone's selling him, my God, he could be gold over the next 2 weeks. If you're going to hold him till Origin anyway, it doesn't matter if he loses 70K in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He'll make it back anyway.
I know this is rogue and it's a classic case if I don't have to do it, so Tim, you're talking shit. And to those people, probably right. If Turbo was out longer term, mate, despite the 9, I would be so tempted to get Walsh in. With that draw coming up, because no one would do it, people are selling, and I'm just like, when you're trading in a gun, cash shouldn't be a major issue. It's like, all right, he might drop for a week or two, but big scores, he'll get back up to it, so be it. Not a chance you're trading Reece Walsh with that draw.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting one. Yeah, mate, outside of that, when I look at the top 10 traded in, Horsburgh, Ponga, Munster, Tamale, Tino, Arthur, like all these guys we've already got in our sides. And, the top – interesting to see Humphreys so much higher traded in than – not too much, but higher traded in than Tom Starling at the moment. I reckon that might shift as the week goes on.
Honestly, I reckon TLT's dropped, only a few hours ago sort of thing. Tom Duffy's been dropped. People sort of get into their teams and they'll start tinkering out and they'll realise everyone was Sandon Smith at hooker, flip him down. They'll realise it.
Yeah, it'll start to flip very soon.
And for what it's worth, we just had a great discussion over it. And Humphrey, Starling isn't a way better buy than Humphreys.
Yeah.
It could easily go the other way, but we're looking at that quick cash gen to make our moves, and with the ton in his rolling average, Starlo, looks all right.
Yeah, fair call. All right, let's have a look at captaincies this week, mate. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm taking on the Penrith Panthers. I don't want to go a Nath in that game. I don't want to go a Munster. I'm happy to scratch those dudes early. Obviously, I would assume for you, mate, Nico Hines against the South Sydney Rabbitohs, pretty appealing.
Yeah, I think it'll be my VC.
Yeah.
Really hope he's goal kicking after Desi's unsubstantiated rumours.
I love that dude.
Yeah. But look, to be honest, even regardless for that game, I think they do a number on the bunnies, and I'll probably VC Nico for my side. Especially because I can't double VC fullbacks because I don't know what Tommy Turbo's doing.
I don't know what I'm going to do here, if I'm completely honest. I obviously don't have Nico. KP against the Gold Coast Titans, probably my most likely captain, but I've got a feeling about the Titans in that game. I might take the little early gamble on Turbo just quietly.
No, you won't.
No, I genuinely think
no,
I might.
you won't.
Mate, I'm a
You get
whore
at
for
me.
content.
I'm
here for it.
You are a whore for content, but you get at me for talking shit that you know I'm not going to do. There's not a world where you don't captain Ponga and you gamble on Turbo.
I think I'm going to VC Ponga. I think I'm going to captain Turbo. I think I'm going to ride it into Sunday night. Depending on what the mail looks like, will I know by that point? 7:35. Yeah, I'll know if he's in the final 19. We'll have a pretty good idea by that point. They got DCE carrying a back injury, Turbo with an injury. I don't think they can afford to keep him in the squad and waste spots if they're not going to play him. I'm a very good chance to VC Kalen Ponga, captain Turbo this weekend. I'll update you in the Roo Crew if I'm not, but I'm looking at it right now. Who else am I going to VC there? Like, I just don't. I can VC Nath or Munster, but I don't love it against each other. Warriors, Roosters, I don't have anyone there that I feel confident enough to do it.
If they kept Turbo in the 19 after those first 24-hour cutoffs, like, God, who could they possibly play at fullback? They'd have to go with like Cole or Garrick or Hopawado.
Oh, for sure, mate. But then you also leave yourself, like, if someone fucking does a hammy in the warm-up, all of a sudden you got no one you can play as 18th man. I think you're outthinking the room a little bit. I think we'll know 24 hours out what's happening.
So at this stage, you're gonna captain Tommy Turbo?
I am, yeah, because none of you out there, and you don't have the ticker to do it, and I love that. This is what gets me up.
I'm not acting like I do have the ticker. I never said I did have the ticker.
Yeah, it's just voices in my own head. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing. Catman do vice captains, captaincies. Have you got Nico?
No, I don't.
So you're in the same boat as me.
I'm in a very similar boat to you. Oh, you know how I feel about Tom Trbojevic. Like, I have this thing called ticker.
Yes.
Yet to be seen.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. You want to see some ticker? I might just.
She'll do it.
I might just captain the most random player on my team and just see what happens.
McLean?
I think McLean's going to go. Look, I have pretty much the same options as you. I've also got Tino, which, given how Titans could potentially play, I could give that a bit of a whirl. But
I think you want to go bigger than Tino. Scored a try on the weekend and scored 100?
109.
109, sure. I think you want to go
It's
bigger
risky.
than Tino.
Yeah.
Nico Hines, score prediction. What are you feeling in this one?
Big.
Let's assume he goal kicks.
Assuming he goal kicks.
Like, you think we could see like a 150 dropped here? Or
I don't know about 150, but I'm feeling a 117.
I think the one thing with South Sydney, mate, I think, like, it's not very often Wayne Bennett gets blown out in games in the early parts of the season. Like, I understand the team lists and they're missing guys and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if I can see it happening.
Jack back at centre's huge. Like,
Huge.
Because they now have two gun defensive centres. So it's like you often see when these players go big and there's blowout scores, there's just an edge that they just can't keep up. Jack and Campbell Graham are two of the best, if not defensive centres in the game.
Probably the best combo, I'd say.
Yeah, they'll stop enough. That other teams with shit edges would just be ripped apart. So that's the one thing, yeah.
So who are you going to VC then at the moment?
Nico.
Oh, and then, okay, so let's say Nico goes 70. Do you just go straight to KP then? Is that your plan?
Yeah, KP captain.
Okay.
I forgot to say it earlier, but I did loop on the weekend. KP's 129, and it would have been Captain Turbo. So,
Yeah, that's a good
God.
call. Good call.
thank you. Guess how I did it?
How? Geimer?
Geimer.
Yeah. I like that.
Because I didn't have anyone on the buy or not available, so Geimer.
I think I'm going to go KP.
Captain, I think that's a much better decision. I think that'll pay much better dividends for you.
Just trying to prove I had some ticker, that's all.
Yeah, I back that. I do back that. All right, are we done?
Yeah.
I think we're done. Late show, 8 p.m. tonight. Be there or be squared. You know why they say be square? Because you're not around.
Oh,
Thank me later.
It was
I
funny
swear
last
you
time you
did
said
that
that
last
joke, but I'm
episode.
over it.
I think it's the third season in a row I've said it. See you at 8 p.m. Love yous.